Hot tubs aren't just for holidays anymore. In fact, there are over 350,000 rigid hot tubs across the country, not including inflatables. With a market estimated to be worth over £200 million, the industry is bubbling. So what's behind the rise? A growing focus on wellness, health and home luxury. We work with several leading hot tub retailers across the UK. And this is how we helped one of the biggest. Aqua Warehouse is the largest indoor hot tub and swim spa showroom in the south of England. They came to us in early 2024 with a simple but pressing challenge. They were running ads, but they weren't working. Google ads, Meta ads, the numbers just didn't stack up. They needed more footfall, more leads, and ultimately more sales. Our solution, a full funnel strategy, highly optimized with Google and Meta ads built around scroll stopping creative. What happened next? A dramatic uptick in showroom visits and sales to match. But to tell this story properly, we've got to go back to where it all started, with the loom.
Hi Richard, hope you're well. Thank you again for giving me access into your data. I just want to give you a quick video, give you a little whistle-stop tour through some of the data, some of the key things I've seen, discuss some next steps. The way we work with any brand is very commercially focused. So it's all about the numbers. Where are we? Where do we want to be? So there are some glaring oversights, mistakes, things that just aren't happening, things that to me, and hopefully as I relay them to you, you'll go, yeah, that's common sense. We should be doing that. The whole account, 5 campaigns, have only had 53 conversions in 6 months. Any single campaign should be getting 30 to 40 to 50 conversions per campaign per month. Max campaign conversions is the wrong strategy for these campaigns. Fact. But there's loads of money being left on the table here. It looks like this is very, very, very light touch right now, which will be why it kind of got all the hallmarks of it's just a campaign on autopilot. There's nothing that you need that is not beyond the bread and butter stuff that we do every single day for clients. This is very, very easy. I can see lots of avenues, for improvement. You pay us for proactive paid media management. That is a different world of this, which will work across Google, Bing, probably YouTube might be an idea as well, targeted, maybe, and then some Meta as well. And then we can also provide the creative. So really slick little creative ads. We could do video, we can do drone footage, motion graphics. We do all of that as part of our campaigns. In fact, I'd like to come down your neck of the woods to see the showroom. It would actually be sit round, work up a commercial plan of where the business wants to be. Give me a shout. We can jump back on a call and then discuss next steps if you want to take it further.
When Aqua Warehouse came to us, they were already running ads, but the results weren't where they needed to be, and it wasn't clear why.
When I first spoke to Evergreen and I was having a chat with Aaron, and it was really quite refreshing because most other agencies tell me what they're going to do for me, whereas that's not what happened with Evergreen. Aaron spent a lot of time asking me lots of questions and asking me all about the business and what we were doing and what we were trying to achieve, and then said to me what he could do to help me achieve that, which was lovely. It was just what I needed to hear.
So when Aqua Warehouse first came to us, they had a lead problem. Essentially, they weren't getting enough people into their showrooms, onto their website. Not enough people in the local area knew that they were even there. And we thought one way to help change that would be through paid media.
When we took over on Aqua's Google Ads account, we noticed that first of all, nothing was being tracked. So things like phone calls or form submission or any directions or anything like that. And second, everything was on broad match, which I have a couple of opinions about, but for them it wasn't working. So it was a really inadequate use of that match type on keywords. And then the third one was they had no location targeting. So for when you're trying to drive footfall, you kind of want to have that pinpointed, because you don't want to be advertising to someone in Wiltshire if you're in Essex. That's a waste of money. So those three things combined just meant they had an ineffective activity.
So hot tub is a large investment, so there's a long consideration period, that's around 3 months. So we have different types of messaging that go out to that audience as they are shopping around and going through that buyer journey.
So when I first looked at the account, a couple of things jumped out at me. Firstly, they weren't spending enough, which is often the case. I think a lot of small businesses fall into the trap of thinking, we'll spend just a few pounds, we'll get a return, and then we'll dial it up. Unfortunately, rarely works like that. You need to speculate to accumulate accumulate. Also, the other thing that stood out was the keyword relevance. What I mean by that is lots of people are searching for hot tubs, but there's a big difference from those looking to spend maybe a couple of £100 buying one off a well-known marketplace versus those that want to spend potentially thousands of pounds by getting a rigid hot tub that they can install into their property. Big difference, and that was one of the problems we spotted in their campaign.
Hi Richard, hope you're well. Little update for you on your campaign progress. We're looking good. We're looking very good. Things are ticking along very nicely. The number of leads is looking pretty promising. We're driving super relevant clicks. We're getting eyeballs on the brand, and that means you're top of mind, right? Because with the combination of search and social, we're top of mind. Exactly what we said from the outset, and that is happening. And what's really encouraging, looking at the data and the numbers, is it looks like, well, the data says that in September, according to Google Analytics, and as per what I updated in your commercial overview, the total number of leads reported in September was 34. For October, we're at 32 already, which is amazing. The whole of the month October 23 was 2. So now we're, leaps and bounds above what's being tracked. So as I say, hopefully you're feeling that. 32 leads tracked already in 2/3 of the month. I'll take that every day of the week. We're not getting masses of clicks because there's not masses of search, but what we are getting is super relevant, and we're getting leads off the back of that. So this is beautiful. We're very much looking forward to seeing you capturing some great creative, which we'll then use for the subsequent months, which is very exciting.
Once we had a clear strategy, it was time to grab people's attention. The creative needed to be premium and scroll stopping, so we brought in our creative lead to map the direction.
Aqua Warehouse weren't actually the first hot tub brand that we started working with, and they definitely won't be the last either. In fact, sometimes I joke that we're becoming the hot tub agency. And the beauty with a hot tub brand is we can take our learnings from every hot tub brand that we work with and feed it into each of them. It means that we can take everything we've learned and just improve the whole show. And in turn, that means that each of the hot tub brands that we work with benefits from that.
We think it's incredibly important to go and see our clients in person. It's something we've always done and we will always do. I think you can't beat just getting to meet them, sit down in person. You can look your client in the eye and really get to know them, their teams. In this case, you can see the showroom, and it just brings the business, the products to life. And I think we're able to do a much better job in marketing those products to the target customer because we've been there, we've seen it, we know the business inside and out. Makes a real difference.
There were a couple of things that I spotted the first time I looked into Aqua Warehouse. Mainly on their website, they had a banner video that was not as good as it could be. I remember one of the first things I said to Richard when I met him in person was, "Can I do you a new banner video for your website?" I put it out there. I even said, "I'll do it for free." Because I knew when customers came to their website, they needed to see something that represented what the brand was all about.
The first thing we did, and the first thing we do on all our accounts, was to do sort out the tracking, the consent mode, because you really need to understand, it's the foundation for everything. You need to understand what your money is getting back for you, otherwise it's pointless. And then we started looking at the structure of the account and what was important to Aqua overall, and also what was important to meet their targets.
So the first time we went to Aqua, we discovered a seriously impressive showroom. I think I remember saying that it was like an Aladdin's cave, and that really was true. It just kept going on and on and on, and you're not going to get that if you don't physically go there. We got a tour around, we got to meet the team, and really in chatting to the team, we really saw firsthand that the expertise and the experience they had, and then the array of products, both hot tubs, swim spas, it was amazing. And we were able to take all of those insights, and had we not gone there, we just wouldn't have had those learnings, those key conversations, and been able to see and even test out some of the products. It's good fun. Right, so here we are. We've just arrived in Essex. This is in fact the largest showroom in the south of England. So it's gonna be good fun. We're gonna capture some creative. We're gonna have a chat about the business plan and how we can use paid media to really take this business to the next level. Let's do it. It's like an Aladdin's cave. I love it. Oh, yeah, we missed the trick not bringing our shorts, didn't we?
That's what I educate a lot of the brands on doing, is turning into like creating a knowledge base or a hub, that kind of thing, or becoming, it's basically a way of saying, right now, Google doesn't care how long you've been trading, how many customers it doesn't care, Google doesn't really care about that. All Google cares about is who is doing the best job at providing the best information from a search perspective.
We've created a nice pot. There you go, Aaron. There's that pot.
Yeah.
Crack on and make Reeve Spas the best hot tub brand in the UK.
Great hot tub creative is all about the people. If you put the people in the front and center of your ads, you're going to win. You showcase a great product, it's very aspirational, and it's all about the lifestyle element. If you do that with your ads and you get it in front of the right audience, it will resonate.
A hot tub is one of those things where you're never going to just buy one without seeing one. They don't really exist without people. They're made to be used, they're made to be enjoyed. And so when it came to telling the story of Aqua Warehouse for their ads, I knew we needed people in it. People like people, and people buy from people. And we knew if we were going to appeal to the target audience, we needed to bring them into the ads. And that's exactly what we did.
So my favourite ad that we've ran for Aqua Warehouse is the one where Richard's walking through the showroom, so he's showing off the showroom, showing off the product, but also he is humanising his brand. He's talking to the camera, he's getting his personality across, saying for all you romantics out there, and bringing in a bit of humour to the table as well.
I don't think I can answer which ad I like best, because they're all kind of my babies. But I do have a soft spot for a lot of our early ads with Aqua. It's in those early days on any campaign that you get to test and experiment and see what's working, see what you need to change. And it's because of Richard and his team having that trust in us that we were allowed to make those changes, do those experiments, and really build a campaign that works perfectly for his brand.
The creative that works best for Aqua is always Richard. Richard comes across so well when he's talking to camera. I just think it helps that he's at the showroom too. So when someone sees that video and then walks into that showroom and they see it's no different, that just sets them at ease. And I can imagine that's one of the successes, that he's so personable and it's not made up.
What's my favourite ad that we've done for Aqua? I would have to say it's all of them. Yes, it's definitely all of them. I think, we've done some really good ads, and I think, I couldn't possibly choose. There's too much there. There's too much good stuff.
It's safe to say when you're filming around a hot tub, you're probably going to get soaked. And Aqua Warehouse was no exception. There were a couple of ads that we filmed with Richard around the hot tubs where definitely had a few splashes come my way. But as we always say, and is on the wall behind me, we will always go above and beyond to get the shot. We travelled down to Chelmsford, met up with Richard. He brought two of his friends in who were the absolute target audience for their brand. We got them in the hot tubs and we got to work. Getting footage, getting photos, getting Richard on film talking to the camera, addressing his audience directly. It was very easy to see in that moment, with everything combined, that these ads were going to work. So here we are in the car, on our way. We've got about just under 2 hours. Archie's here, who is joining me, going to do some photography on set as well. We're now a couple of months in. We've got the accounts set up. We've done some rounds of creative for them, but we want to go and we want to see them in person, get some more creative, and most importantly, get some people involved. So it's going to be a really interesting shoot. This should be good. So we've just arrived. Time to get to work.
That's wow. Got there in the end.
That's lovely. That's so nice.
After a run.
It's the jets are
too relaxed.
Yeah. They are.
I'll realise in a minute.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Be outside on these cold winter's nights in this lovely hot water, looking up at the stars. It's fantastic.
So that's a wrap. Here we are at Aqua Warehouse with Richard, and we've got everything we need. We've got some great shots with our amazing models and the beautiful hot tubs here at Aqua Warehouse. I can't wait to show everybody the amazing ads that we put together, and I'm sure you can't wait either.
Marvellous.
As the ads rolled out, things started to shift, and the numbers told us we were on the right track. But the real test, the feedback from the Aqua team and the customers walking through the door.
Oh, well, this is quite interesting actually, because when we first discussed with Aaron about what we were trying to achieve, we talked about trying to achieve a 20% increase in sales, which I thought, that's achievable. Give them a target that you've got half a chance of getting to. And the problem we face is we're inundated with sales. I think we've probably done, a 50% increase, if not more, than previous years. So, yeah, very impressed.
I think it's working so well for Aqua now for a number of reasons, and not just because we're running a really amazing Google Ads account, but also the creative is brilliant. Meta is doing a great work at creating that demand. But also Richard gets out there and he's not afraid to do extra stuff. The YouTube is always being refreshed. They've got lots of stuff going on outside of what we're doing, so it really helps feed into that demand capture.
Yeah, customers love our ads. I mean, I often are in the showroom and people not only mention the fact that, oh, you're the guy in the advert, which although that's panders to my ego, but it also reminds me that they've seen the advert, they've watched the advert. So I straight away go, great, I love it, the fact you've seen the advert. And they comment on it. They're interacting with the advert. So I know they've watched it, I know it's working. And that's music to my ears, because if I know they're watching it and they know they're seeing it, I'll spend more on that marketing.
The biggest difference between just running an ad and running an ad effectively for me is going right back to basics and really understanding the audience. So we can just pump ads out all day long around just showing what the product is, but how to make ads super effective is by making sure that we talk to that audience who it's for and making sure that it resonates.
So it probably took around 2 to 3 months for us to really start to see results within Aqua's campaigns. Richard is a great communicator, so he's regularly on emails and phone calls, and that's just great from our perspective. We like our clients to be really engaged with us, really work with us, to feed back, particularly in the case of Aqua where it's a showroom. So we don't always know, we can't track every lead, we can't track every sale. So we need our clients to be really communicative and reflect back to us and tell us what's working, what's not working, what they're seeing. And Richard's been great at that. All of his team have been very communicative, and that just enables us to do a better job because we can see, okay, this is really working, we're going to do more of this. And so within 2 or 3 months, we were having calls, we were having catch-ups as we do with every client. And Richard was feeding back that they were seeing an increase in terms of the number of tubs they were selling, the number of leads they were getting, and we were seeing very specifically where those leads were coming from. And funnily enough, they mirrored up to the targeting that we were doing. So the signs were good, and then things have just continued to build month on month on month, which is great.
It is so important that business owners are thinking about the what else and not just relying on the paid media, because paid media is just a small part of the puzzle. It's there to support and help generate sometimes, but it's not the everything. And if you are just relying on paid media, Google Ads or Meta, then honestly, you're setting yourself up to fail, because there's only so much we can do. And even then, at the end of the day, we're just the click to the website, and we can't guarantee what someone will do. And the rest is yours. You are the shop window.
Just as things were starting to fly, Aqua Warehouse expanded. A new product range, a new audience. So the brief evolved, and so did the plan.
So since Evergreen started with us, they started with a core business, which is our hot tubs side of the business. And ever since Evergreen have been successful with that, we've now gone into our other outdoor living products like saunas and outdoor buildings and outdoor kitchens. So I'm really excited to see what they can do with those other brands as well.
We were about 6-7 months into the campaign. Aqua's flying. Richard picks up the phone. He says, Aaron, he says, I'm launching a new business, Hacienda Outdoor Living. We want to do pergolas and outdoor kitchens, which is a trend we are aware of that lots of hot tub brands are doing. And Richard said, I need some help. I need some evergreen magic to bring that to life. Of course, we are happy to help. And very quickly, the team were assembled and we head straight down there to capture that all-important creative, the photography, the videography, everything we need to then work our magic with the ads to bring that to life and grow that part of his business. That's the next new phase. We're very excited to really get into that and take it up a few gears. Richard, how are you doing, Seth? How's business? How's things generally?
Bloody marvellous. Excuse my language.
Good.
That's good. We like that. We like that.
Retail point of view, at this time of year in the winter, sort of January, February, we'd expect to sell retail 1 tub a week as a rough guide. We do a lot more in the summer, but this time of year, 1 a week. We're doing on average, and every week's pretty much the same, 3 a week.
Wow.
Love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You just love that, don't you? It's just that.
Yeah.
They just speak for themselves. The figures speak for themselves.
I love that. That's amazing.
Pretty confident most of it's down to your efforts.
Let's keep building and keep pushing on, which is really good. So, where are we with Hacienda then?
You know why we haven't done it? Because it's your fault. Because you keep making me sell tubs.
Yeah.
So my guys that should be doing this.
Okay, fine. I love that.
You know, which you want to do? Hey, thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
a lot.
We'll speak soon. Cheers, Richard.
Bye.
Take care. Ta-da. There you go.
Very nice.
That's what you get when you work with really good people that get marketing, that invest in marketing, and that try and have fun with it. He's loving life because we're getting him loads of leads.
Yeah.
Happy days. There you go. Looking back, this project became much more than a campaign. It was a shift in performance, in creative, in how Aqua Warehouse showed up as a brand.
We've arrived at Aqua Warehouse.
We have.
The weather's not looking as nice as it was a bit ago, but it's okay because lots of what we're going to do now is indoors. So fortunately, we've hit the nice weather while we could. Let's get in there and have a look. You've not been here before.
Not.
So,
First time.
Yeah. Aaron called it an Aladdin's cave.
Like an Aladdin's cave.
Ooh, that's fair, actually. Fair description.
There you go. Let's go in and check out.
Oh, just wish. Oh, cool. Let's do it. Set from the heart. The Richard Hammer. I didn't know you were going there. I'm messing with me. Maybe next minute you'll film me. Come on over, folks. We've got a massive indoor hot tub showroom here in Chelmsford. Open 7 days a week. You're going to love it.
So we just finished another round of creative at Aqua Warehouse with Richard, but also a round of creative at Hacienda Outdoor Living. So how do you think it's gone, Richard?
I'm really pleased. We needed to create something different for all the other outdoor products we've got. So we created the Hacienda Outdoor Living brand. And I really appreciate you guys getting behind it and helping us promote it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right that we focused on hot tubs a lot with Aqua in the past. And so diversifying this into its own separate brand, I think is a really good idea. And I think it gives us something to work with its own unique branding and the unique range of products that you sell for it. So I'm really pleased with the team who are behind the camera, who have captured everything today. We've also been working on a brand film, so we've got lots of really good stuff to work with. We've got lots of UGC style stuff. We've got lots of more tailored footage and images as well. We've got everything we need to turn this into a whole host of campaigns for both brands.
Marvellous.
But here's the part most people don't see, how collaborative this work really is. Behind the ads is a loop of feedback, client calls, internal workshops, and shared problem solving. And it's that trust that drives performance.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure working with Evergreen. They're great communicators. I'm a bit of a fan of good communication. I hate it when I send an email to a company and it takes days to come back. With Evergreen, it's bang, you get response, bang, you get response, and that's music to my ears. They do what they say on the tin. They turn up when they say they're going to turn up. They do what they say they're going to do. I get a very warm, fuzzy feeling dealing with Evergreen, and I think it's a long-term partnership. Yeah.
Richard and I had a great conversation at the very outset before we'd even started working together. And I said, look, Evergreen likes to work with clients over a long time. We like to see this as a partnership. We'll be very transparent. We'll be very upfront, and we'll tell you a spade is a spade. And Richard loved that. And I think that's why it works, is they will feedback exactly what is and isn't working. We will equally tell them what we're experimenting, what's doing. And there's a transparency and an honesty to that relationship. And that's why it has worked and continues to work to this day.
The way that we're measuring success with Aqua Warehouse is by having a good feedback loop with the client, so making sure that we're staying up to date and understanding from his point of view, does it feel busier in the showroom? We don't have that end-to-end tracking, so from the ad we can't specifically track footfall. So having those regular conversations to make sure that we are seeing that traction in the showroom, but also from an ads perspective, so what I'm looking at in the platform is just making sure that we're spending efficiently. So are our costs per clicks where they need to be? Are they creeping up slightly? Is our click-through rate dropping down? And if that's the case, then typically that's where we'll start to look at creative refreshes, just to make sure that we're staying top of mind with fresh creative and fresh content.
Aqua's success is supported by the fact that Richard knows that we're on his side, and it genuinely feels like we're an extension to his team. He leads in, he's happy to rely on us as the experts. He will guide us though in terms of overall picture. We know commercially how he's doing all the time. And the second is that he's happy to be led by us with creative, and although that perhaps doesn't always impact me on Google Ads, the demand gen becoming a bigger picture, YouTube and Meta feeding in, it's so important that actually having that, Richard leaning into that has really, really helped.
The ideal partnership between a brand and their agency is one built of trust. And in our case specifically, Richard is an absolute expert when it comes to anything hot tubs, swim spas, anything in that industry, he knows like the back of his hand. And us at Evergreen, we know paid search, we know paid social, we know creative, and we know it inside and out. And it's that mutual understanding, that mutual trust for those things that allows us to reap the rewards of our relationship on both ends to the very highest level.
There you have it, that is Aqua Warehouse's story so far. We hope you've enjoyed these little insights into what we do and how we do it. Now, if you are a hot tub brand and you would like our help to grow your business and create your own evergreen story, then do get in touch. We'd love to have a chat with you, and as long as your business doesn't operate and directly compete with any of our existing hot tub brands, then we may just be able to help you to create your own evergreen story and grow your business. Get in touch, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. So we're just finalising the Aqua Warehouse story, and I sent Richard an email this afternoon just to ask him to confirm a couple of industry facts and figures. He's just responded this afternoon and said he wouldn't be able to check as he's too busy. Check out what he said.